So this is a toy ukulele. It's actually not so bad. Yeah, it's actually something that I like playing ukulele because it almost looks like it's a toy, you know, like it's, how can this be real? But it's actually a great thing to. What I like best about ukulele is the fact that it allows you. There's lesser strings, so it allows you to sum up a song that's more complicated in a very simple way, to really get it down to the basics. So yeah, this is not the best ukulele, but yeah, it's I love, you know, there's so many videos on YouTube where you see like little kids playing the ukulele, like covering songs, and it's really cool. And yeah, I think ukuleles like these is probably what people, you know, just use as a background, not really to play it, but yeah, cool stuff. It's a New York Yankees hat, and actually a real one. Yeah, what this reminds me of, I remember when I was, so when I was 17, 18, I lived in San Diego for a year. I finished my high school there, and I remember like one of my best friends there, his name was Andrew. We were always playing music and hanging out, and at the end of he was because his family was originally from New York, even though they moved to San Diego. He was a big Yankees fan. And at the end of the year, he actually gave me his hat, like his favorite hat, and he wrote down like sort of, that was a cool souvenir because, but good thing is that I actually still see him. At that point, we thought like maybe we'll never meet again, but the last 10 years, I always went, you know, sometimes to visit, and the last 2 years, I went to LA to recharge my batteries, and actually wrote and recorded my new album in California again. So it allowed me to go see my friend Andrew again, you know, when I had some time, and it's cool. That's what comes to mind. I watched, you know, Yankees games and before. Baseball is not very popular in Europe, but it is obviously very, very popular. I would say that the Yankees are a little bit like Bayern Munich of the baseball league in the US. Yeah, honey. I mean, every time I see honey, and I sometimes use it, you know, when it's supposed to be good for your voice with tea, and it's a healthier, you know, alternative for sugar. But this obviously will always remind me of the music video for AO Technology. I don't know if people know this, but so in that video, I basically start sweating honey, and then I start throwing up honey, and at the end, I'm basically covered in honey. And I die at the end of the video. So we had buckets full of honey for that video, and it was fine at first. I mean, it's very sticky, but let me just say that at the end of the day, like I had enough honey for the next 10 years. So it's still like I will eat it again, but in very small portions because I had so much. I remember that at least for a few more days, maybe even a week, I kept smelling of honey. Like I showered again and again and again, but it was just because of that last scene in the video where they poured the bucket of honey all over me. And I actually almost choked because what they forgot with the video is that, that it's so thick. So I had a lot of honey in my mouth because it had to be for the final scene. So basically it had to be like, and it came out of my mouth. But because it was in my mouth, I couldn't breathe in my mouth, so they forgot to cover my nose. So when they pulled the honey on, it was just like, I had all the honey, and then, so, near-death experience. honey. Good stuff. Snorkeling. That reminds me of a trip I did last year. It's a trip that I've been wanting to make for 15 years to visit my cousins in the Philippines. And again, since things took off for me in 2009, actually a few years before, I had to surrender sort of my schedule to my music schedule. So it was very hard for me to schedule a vacation or a place to travel to long before, because it was always more like last minute. Oh, I have a few days, I can take some time off. And but last year I finally made a trip to the Philippines, and I actually visited a project that I've been supporting by playing some annual Christmas shows in my hometown. So I've been supporting this small school that there's just started, and last year I actually went over there. And it was one of the coolest things to see, how much I just play a few concerts and then you see, what actually the result is. It was very powerful, and it was such an amazing trip. Philippines was such a revelation. It was such a beautiful place, super nice people, great food. And also I found some time to go scuba diving there, which is not something I've done so much, but my mind is always going so quickly that in general, what I like is things or sports where I can't really think too much. And this is because I'm always busy and always, so this is very calming. So both snorkeling, which I like to do as well, obviously it's one of those things you do once a year or once every 2 years, but scuba diving or snorkeling, it's a great thing to calm you down, because you just have your breathing that you listen to, and makes me want to do it again now. $50 cents. Obviously, what should I say? I remember when we had the Belgian franc, the Deutsche Mark. Obviously, you want to talk about 50 Cent, or you want me to talk about 50 Cent. So never met the guy, never heard from him. It's no problem. That was never my intention. Such a crazy coincidence that me just playing a cover then became this snowball that became bigger and bigger, and actually ended up launching my career in Germany, in Europe. And it's an unbelievable story. Who would have thought that this would have happened? I always saw whatever happened as a result of my hard work from the 5 years before, because I had been doing what I was doing for a long time, and you just hope one day hopefully something good is going to come my way, and that definitely happened. And I will always be that will always remind me of that period. 50 Cent. So I actually saw him perform live 2 years ago at Coachella, because it was Dr. Dre who performed, was a headliner at Coachella, and he brought all Eminem, Wiz Khalifa, Snoop Dogg, and also 50 Cent. So they all came to sing their most famous songs in the production of Dr. Dre. So I actually saw him play, but he didn't play A Technology. He just did PIMP and In the Club, because those are way bigger songs. I don't think A Technology wasn't really such a big hit for him. So now you want to do the fist bump?